Hello everybody, welcome back to a brand new video on the 3D Critic channel. My name is David and today I'm going to be comparing for you guys the Lebron 20s to the Lebron 21s and give my thoughts on which shoe I would prefer overall. And if you guys are interested in either of these shoes, I will leave links in the description box below. The Lebron 20s are going around $150 or a little lower from what I've seen. And the Lebron 21s recently came out and they're going for $200. So if you guys are interested again, I will leave links to both of these shoes in the description box below. Now, with all that being said, let's get right into it. So when it comes to traction, both feature a multi-directional traction pattern that has a bunch of lines going all over the place. However, one difference is that the outsole in the 21 is more continuous compared to the 21s, where it is corked in the midfoot with the shank plate, and as well as this strip that separates the traction pattern in the middle here. And based off of performance, it is really similar overall. However, I found that you had to rubber the traction in a little more on the 21s because initially I was sliding back and forth in these. But once you rubber it in, it is really good when it comes to grip when you're doing lateral movements as well as vertical movements. However, when it came to dust, the 20s were a lot better when it came to handling dust compared to the 21s. When it came to dust, the 21 stuck to the outsole a little bit and you had to consistently wipe and clean after you were done with them. And when it comes to overall durability, it is pretty similar considering that one is rubber and one is translucent. Overall durability is pretty good. You're only going to experience some wear in the high wear areas and the edges of the outsole and some spots in the heel as well. But overall, the pliability of the rubber is identical on both shoes. So you should be good to go outdoors. The life of the shoe will be consistent when you play outdoors, but I will recommend that you play in them indoors considering how pliable the rubber is itself. But overall, the traction is pretty much identical considering that the 21 is translucent and the 20 is rubber. Now moving into the cushion, both shoes feature a full-length Cushline midsole with a Zoom Turbo unit in the forefoot as well as a bottom-loaded Air Zoom unit in the heel. However, when it comes to shank plates, the 20s feature a carbon fiber bottom-loaded shank with a top-loaded TPU shank plate in the 21s. And when it comes to the heel, there is a co-molded guardrail in the heel compared to the 20s where it's just the regular rubber itself. And based off of the actual performance, it's really identical. When it comes to the forefoot cushioning, it is very responsive and explosive as well, considering that both shoes are using different shank plates overall. But in the 21s, I found it to be a little more time-consuming when it came to breaking the cushion in. At first, it felt a little dead and not responsive at first. But once you break it in, it is really responsive and explosive as well. And when you get to the heel, the impact protection is very identical and it's really soft. However, I feel that the 21 is slightly stiffer because the co-molded guardrail is in the back that helps the Cushline from sinking in too deep. That way you won't lack responsiveness in the heel. But at the end of the day, it is really good and really soft overall. And when it came to heel to toe transitions, it is really nice as well. Each step is really fluid, and with every single step that I took, I was getting faster and faster. However, I found myself to be a little quicker when it came to heel to toe transitions, and it was very quick when it came to that. But overall, at the end of the day, the cushioning setup is very similar with the slight tweaks that the 21 made. So you can't go wrong with either shoe. If you don't want the break-in time, I would probably go for the 20s, but either or, you can't go wrong when it comes to the cushioning setup. Now, when it comes to the materials, this is where both shoes veer off a little bit. In the 20s, you're going to get a full knitted mesh upper all around the shoe. In the tongue, you're going to get a knitted upper as well on the top, as well as on the bottom. You're going to get some Nike sphere padding as well. And in the back, you're going to get more of the Nike sphere padding. And when it comes to the laces, you're going to get flat laces. However, in the 21s, you're going to get a full leather shelled upper with an engineered mesh layer underneath with flywire cables entirely around the shoe. And when you get to the tongue, you're going to get a Nike sphere padding in the midfoot section with some embroidered padding inside of the tongue as well. And in the back, it has the same Nike sphere padding as well with this exposed TPU that you see in the back of the shoe compared to the 20s. And when it comes to laces, they are circular laces compared to the flat laces that you get in the 20s. Now, when it comes to overall comfort, it is really nice and comfortable. However, initially they were a little tight when it came to the forefoot section. It was really tight and was really cramping my feet a little bit. However, once you break in the materials, it is really nice and soft under your foot, and it gives you really nice maneuverability overall. And you won't experience any pinching when it comes to the overall material itself. And when it comes to overall durability, I would give it to the 21s due to the leather shell that you get. I haven't experienced any signs of wear aside from the creases that you are going to get with the leather material. However, in the 20s, you are going to experience some wear when it comes to the knits, like tearing off on you a little bit over time. But at the end of the day, both shoes are really comfortable overall once you break them in. But if you want something that is more durable over time, I would get the 21s over the Lebron 20s. So moving into the fit in the Lebron 20s, I would go true to size because the length and the width is really nice and conforms well to your foot and gives you a really nice snug one-to-one fit inside the shoe. So if you are a wide footer, go up half a size, and if you are a narrow footer, go down half a size. However, in the 21s, I would probably go true to size and maybe go up half a size because the width of the shoe itself is a little too snug for my liking, so I had to go up a half a size so I can accommodate the comfort of the width in the side of the shoe. But once you break it in, if you go true to size, it's going to give you really nice space and give you a really nice snug one-to-one fit once you break in the material. So if you want to avoid the discomfort initially when you are playing in these, I'd probably go up half a size, maybe a full size if you are a wide footer. However, if you are a narrow footer, I would probably go true to size because of how narrow the shoe is in general. But overall, I prefer the fit in the 20s compared to the 21s overall. Now moving into the lockdown, both shoes are really good when it comes to lockdown, especially in the forefoot with the really nice snug fit that you get in the 20s compared to the really snug fit that you're getting in the 21s. The forefoot section is not going to go anywhere because of that. And in the midfoot, the lockdown is slightly better in the 21s compared to the 20s with the Flywire 360-degree system that you have here. And the laces that you get here, you have to really harness the laces. That way you can get a really nice clamped fit. And you won't move around at all in the midfoot because of that. Compared to the midfoot in the 20s, it gives you really good lockdown as well, but not as much as in the 20s. And the same goes with the heel slippage that you will not experience at all in the 21s compared to the 20s, where you're going to experience a little bit of heel slippage, considering that there isn't as much padding in the 20s compared to the 21s. But you can't go wrong with either shoe when it comes to lockdown. Both are really good and you won't move around in the footbed at all in either of these shoes. So at the end of the day, you can't really go wrong with either shoe overall. Now getting into the support, both shoes feature a nice wide stable base. That way you are really stable under your foot. However, when it comes to the width of the overall shoe, when you compare them side to side, the 21s are slightly wider compared to the 20s. However, the outriggers that you get here are slightly more protruding in the 21s compared to the 20s. So you're going to get better lateral stability from the outrigger in the 21s compared to the 20s. Once you get to the torsional support, you are going to get the bottom-loaded carbon fiber shank plate. And in the 21s, you're going to get a top-loaded midfoot shank plate that gives really good stability in both of these shoes overall. At the end of the day, you can't really go wrong. However, I found it to be slightly better when it came to overall torsional support in the 21s. And when you get to the back of the heel, you're going to get internal TPU heel counters. That way you won't prevent any heel movement from going from side to side inside the shoe. So both shoes overall are really good when it comes to support overall. However, I found it to be more supportive in the 21s, especially with the materials, considering how sturdy the material is in the 21s. When you do lateral movements, it doesn't give out on you as much compared to the Lebron 20s. So overall, if you're looking for support from both of these shoes, I recommend the 21s over the 20s. But you can't go wrong with either shoe. I just find it to be a little more supportive in the 21s compared to the 20s. So to sum everything up for you guys, these are really similar shoes when it comes to the traction and the cushion. The materials are really nice and supportive. However, it is a little more robust in the 21s. So overall for me, I would pick the LeBron 20s because they're a little cheaper considering that it is basically the same as the 21 in some aspects, including the traction and the cushion as well. So if you want something more affordable and has similar traction and cushion compared to the 21s, buy the LeBron 20s. If you want something a little more supportive and more durable when it comes to the overall materials, go for the LeBron 21s. So at the end of the day, this is my comparison of the LeBron 20s to the LeBron 21s. Thank you guys for watching this video. Leave a like if you enjoyed it. Comment down below on which shoe you would prefer, the LeBron 20s or the LeBron 21s, and your experiences on either of the shoes that you have had. And if you have both, I would like to hear your feedback on them as well. And if you would like to see my reviews of the 20s as well as the 21s, they'll be on the top corners of the screen right here. And if you would like to stay tuned with future videos as well as many other videos that I am posting, subscribe down below. It is also greatly appreciated as always. I would appreciate the support if you would subscribe down below as well. And if you would like to follow me via social media, I will leave my information in the description box below. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day. I hope this was beneficial for you guys on choosing the LeBron 20s or the LeBron 21s. And until next time, keep shooting.